Hi there luxury watch lovers! In this channel, I cover the background, fundamental design features and things to consider before buying your watch. If you have a luxury watch that you'd like me to cover, let me know in the comments below. In today's video, we're going to cover the Tissot PRX Powermatic 80. Tissot has put a lot of thought into this watch, and it truly punches above its weight class in a variety of ways. There's no disputing that this is a bang-for-your-buck watch, and collectors are taking note. The classic style is present, but it's been handled in a fully modern manner, so it'll look perfect at home amongst your casual work collection. The PRX takes on the iconic premium sports watch with an integrated bracelet. Tissot introduced a time-and-date quartz watch battery, which was distinguished by a narrow-barreled shape case, a conspicuous bezel, sharp facets, and, most notably, an integrated bracelet with broad, flat links that harmonized with the small case. Tissot first launched the C star under the signature PRX, where P stands for precise, R stands for robust, and the X here is a Roman numeral that alludes to the 10-bar water resistance. And after some time, Tissot revived this appealing design in 2021 with a new range of affordable steel watches with integrated bands, initially with quartz movements and then with automatic versions that we're looking at today. It is clear that the new Tissot PRX Powermatic 80 rides the current trend for luxury sports watches with integrated bracelets, but it does it in a category of accessible luxury that isn't yet overcrowded. As such, the PRX incorporates all of the category's distinguishing elements: a curved case, brushed surfaces with polished facets, a raised bezel, a textured dial, and a relatively small case. Let's not forget the bracelet as well that's incorporated into the overall design. To be fair, the outcome is more than pleasant. The new Tissot PRX is the most popular inexpensive quartz watch on the market right now. Its popularity may be traced to Tissot's marketing approach and a product that is fundamentally very photogenic. Tissot's PRX watch series has proven to be so successful that the Swiss company issued two distinct versions of it in the same year. And this all started with the Tissot PRX with a Swiss-made quartz movement, and now the Tissot PRX Automatic, which was released in 2021. However, both watches are fairly comparable, reasonably priced, and fun. The PRX Quartz is a little thinner, has a simpler dial, and is less expensive due to the movement. In the PRX Automatic, on the other hand, Tissot uses one of its iconic Powermatic 80 automatic movements, as well as a textured dial to give it a distinct and fashionable appearance. And for a fraction of the price, you may enjoy a pleasant Swiss-made mechanical watch experience that'll be just as rewarding in many respects as a timepiece costing much more. If you're new to luxury watches, Tissot is a brand worth paying serious attention to nowadays. The Swatch Group owned firm is under new management, led by CEO Sylvain Dollar, who has stated that he wants to watch fans all over the world crave Tissot once more. Dollar excels at blending his eye for exceptional product quality with enticing value offers. Tissot has collected so many fantastic designs from the past, as well as the DNA to be a futuristic brand, that Dollar and his crew will have years of pleasure coming up with new concepts. The PRX Powermatic 80 is a really basic concept, which is why I believe it is so powerful. Its casing is a reintroduction of a smaller design from the late 1970s. Wristwatch futurism was popular at the time thanks to the introduction of commercial quartz movement technology and the end of the traditionalist period. The designs of Swiss watches were bold and contemporary, with a strong emphasis on exterior aesthetics. They may not have been able to compete with Asian companies in terms of raw pricing, but the Swiss were always able to outperform the competition in terms of design and construction quality. In around 40 years, these identical designs are popular for very different reasons. Men's bracelet watches, which resemble a cross between jewelry and a wristwatch, are quite popular nowadays. And much to the delight of collectors, it is exciting to see these masculine bracelet styles from the 1970s and 1980s making a comeback. We like these designs because they are traditional without being dull, masculine without being too macho, and stylish while still being functional instruments. The PRX Automatic, like the original PRX Quartz from earlier in 2012, has a beautiful crafted case and bracelet, which contributes to the appearance of a more costly watch while wearing it. So, what are the most important design features? This automatic movement watch has a stainless steel case with a diameter of 40 mm and a height of 10.8 mm. We're also looking at a lug-to-lug of 44 mm. With brushed surfaces and polished accents, the case matches the stainless steel bracelet and has a triple folding clasp. Our featured PRX has a raised sapphire crystal, and you can choose from black, blue, or a white dial with a waffle raised honeycomb pattern. The applied metallic markers and hands illuminate with superluminova, and for a price of about $395, I am impressed that it has a water resistance of up to 100 meters, but even more blown away that it has a power reserve of 80 hours. Here are things to consider before buying the Tissot PRX Powermatic 80. Let's begin with number 1, the movement. As stated previously, the Powermatic 80 movement is automated. These are utilized in several Swatch Group models and are manufactured by ETA, which is also owned by the Swatch Group. I must say that the mechanisms are far more polished and precise than most ancient automatic watches. A silicon-equipped version of the Powermatic 80 is also available in several Tissot goods, such as the Gentleman. The Tissot PRX is powered by an ETA F06.115 quartz movement. The movement is basic quartz. What's really cool to note is that it has an end-of-life indication which alerts you of battery depletion with a greater 4-second interval jump of the seconds hand. The movement exemplifies the Swatch Group's tremendous manufacturing capability, particularly for mass-produced entry-level movements, which also owns ETA, Switzerland's largest movement maker. Moving on to number 2, the bracelet. If the notion of a bracelet-style watch in steel with an integrated bracelet has piqued your interest and you don't want to spend too much money, then the Tissot PRX Powermatic 80 should be on your shortlist of possibilities to examine. The majority of the PRX bracelet is brushed, but the polished parts truly bring it to life and have been strategically positioned on angles across the watch. The tall bezel is likewise polished, providing a refined touch to the PRX. And it works really well as a formal or workplace watch, or even something you might wear to brunch. The polished interiors of the bracelet links provide a healthy dose of liveliness to the integrated case architecture. The bracelet also has an incredibly durable and solid construction, with a smooth, progressive taper to reach the signature twin-trigger butterfly clasp. And if you look closely at the bracelet, you'll see that every detail is as clear and precise as you'd expect. Take a look at one of the lugs. There are no fewer than 4 distinct faces here, each with its own neat distinct chamfer. And that's the product of Tissot's skilled volume manufacturers, with strict tolerances that second-rate companies couldn't match. Hopping over to number 3, the case. It has a barrel-shaped case with an integrated bracelet, which was popular at the time and now as well, especially with the resurgence of sports watches. In addition to the casing, there is a circular bezel with a brilliant mirrored polish that contrasts quite nicely with the brush finishing on the case. Tissot employed curves and circles on the bezel and the case profile, while inserting angular features on the lugs and bracelet, creating a fascinating play on forms and angles. As a result, there is no denying that the PRX is a visually appealing item. Ticking away with number 4, the hands and dial. The watch has a date aperture at 3 o'clock with a printed Tissot and PRX logo. A minute track runs around the dial's perimeter, while the hours are indicated by attached stick indices. With a height less than a millimeter, the indices are quite flat. The indices, like the hands, are lume-filled and may light in the dark for a brief period. And if you've decided that this is the watch for you, you'll have to make a tough choice between the dial colors, blue, black and white. The dark dial features steel-colored hands and indices, whereas the white dial variation has risen gold ones. The dial on the PRX Powermatic 80 is everything you love about the original PRX, but only better. The waffled textured dial is one of my favorite features and adds a nice feeling of depth and contrast to the hour markers and hands. And for all the night owls out there, the hands are illuminated so you can read the time in the dark. The dial displays the time as well as a date window at 3 o'clock. And if you're still not impressed by the black, blue or white dial, then hang tight because I believe there will be more colors introduced in the following years. Finally, number 5, the lack of anti-reflective coating. The beautiful crystal utilized is sapphire, although it has not been treated with an anti-reflective coating. So for those of you who are used to AR on watches, might find it difficult to adjust to a flat crystal watch without anti-reflective. It is especially difficult if you're attempting to photograph your watch outside or somewhere with light. The dial has a blue tinge, which is especially noticeable on the dark dial variations. And this wraps up my review of the Tissot PRX Powermatic 80. I really appreciate you watching this video. Nothing helps my channel more than you watching until the very end. If you enjoy this type of content, let me know in the comments below what other watches you think deserve their own video. And remember, time is your greatest asset.